between the episodes on Eisenholm. After escaping the drifter-surrounded barn, I added the tree tappers mod and began smithing a few sets of copper tree taps. Attaching them to buckets, I set out placing them on some of the resin trees closest to home. As a bonus, I managed to nab a bit of red meat on the way back. Afterward, I got to work processing more of our bountiful hematite chunks into iron blooms, using up pretty well all of the remaining charcoal. So while the bloomeries fired away, it was time to make Canada proud with some good old lumberjack work. Filling the 4x4x4 charcoal pit required every single log we had in the basement, and even more as I had to cut down a few trees to finish it off. Soon enough, it was burning away. With so many things actively burning near the dirt dugout, I remembered the dozen crocks I had pit-fired earlier, and put them on the kitchen shelves where they belong. While admiring the new crocks, I heard once more the blood-chilling sound of a bear near the house. Searching around, I thankfully found it trapped under the yet-to-be-occupied chicken coop. Taking it out was almost sad and confusing. It didn't even try to go after the bighorn that was also trapped under the chicken coop. Oh well, our dinner now. With a few more days still left until the agricultural trader up north refreshes his stock, I felt it was as good a time as any to hit the mines for more conglomerate. After a day or so, the rift activity went from calm to high, so I hightailed it out of there before the drifters came around for their worksite safety inspections. Returning home, the iron blooms were ready. I took some of our brown coal and started processing as many as I could into ingots, along with making a few new rubble hammers before yet another temporal storm hit right on cue. They always seem to hit during these montage segments these days. It wasn't too bad of a haul though, netting us another 3 temporal and rusty gears each, nearly a dozen flax fibers, and another Jonas part. With the storm behind us, it was time to put those new rubble hammers to use, breaking down all the conglomerate slabs from our mining expedition. With our cobblestone and dry stone ready to go, that brings us to today, where I've got a little bit of a raspy voice, not a sore throat, just a raspy throat, but we're going to press on. So we've still got a couple of days before the trader that way's north, before the trader up north may refresh his trades, so we don't know if he's got fat or not yet. So with all of the cobblestone and dry stone that we've made, let's get some work done on the castle. But first, I am going to grab myself a whole bunch of dirt. So the reason for the dirt is so we can actually have a safe platform for starting to put up maybe some of the walls around the castle. Last thing we want to do is be falling. I started putting a little bit of dirt down earlier on, but I'm definitely going to want a nice, safe platform. And yes, this will still be a spawnable surface until we get a bunch of light going on in here, so we might still get bears and wolves up top within the castle, and that could be a little bit dangerous. Just have to deal with that as it comes, but we'll be okay. Dirt Sky Road, take me home. It's a castle where I will roam. I keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man, in case he comes to town. Keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man, so he won't take me down. But yeah, there's plenty of dirt down there that when I need more, I can just start carving up, because this is all, well, it's dark right now, but all of this land below the castle is going to be covered up. And it's all going to get turned into basements and sewers and all that whatnot, so we don't really have to worry about keeping it pretty. This way we've got a nice platform where we can start terraforming later on. But mostly so we can start putting buildings and have a safe walkway for the walls. Mainly at the moment it's just a safe place for the walls to be built from. because I don't trust myself parkouring for this entire build. So I'm just going to continue placing dirt until I don't have any more dirt. I'll see you in just a moment. And here we are. We've got a whole bunch of dirt. That entire little section there is mostly filled in, just up until the point where the second gatehouse wall would eventually come down to meet it. And over here we've got ourselves a nice, safe walkway, at least for the waterfront-facing side of the castle. And yes, a family of wolves is now living underneath the newly created platform, so we might have to take care of them. Yeah, let's start filling some of this wall in. I don't know how far we'll get. Let's see what we can do with the materials we have on hand. We've got a decent bit of cobblestone, probably not enough dry stone in comparison, but we've also got a little bit of ashlar block here. That's going to be for the walkways inside of the walls, as well as, thank you Wolf, as well as a lot of the trim. Now a lot of these are going to get turned into polished, just for all of the different trim pieces that we've got. Let's work on the body right now, and we'll do the decor bits. Turn, you know, something like this into something like this. We'll do that after. Now, I believe all of the towers are complete in terms of cobblestone and dry stone for this opening gatehouse. So, yeah, the actual portcullis is regular stone and polished stone, and then various chiseled bits for it, so yeah, you'll be on the trim pass. You're good for now. Let's start building walls. Yeah, and then we've got all the maple logs up on there. We'll have nice full walkways, and once the trim pass is in, this is going to look very similar to the outer walls. Because we gotta still be able to shoot into the courtyard, just in case the enemy breaches. And here, I believe... There we go, and we've got the floor level in, not the outline, but the floor level in for our little rectangular tower that's going to have a little bridge out to a separate tower that'll sit over there, and then whatever kind of road or pathway we may or may not have can go right under the archway over to a tower, probably on that little hill right there. I'll want to see what it looks like when the water is, you know, water. That might be helpful. And then we'll go from there. So I'll keep this part just a little loosey-goosey at the moment. We got a few sections of wall on that side. Let's get the walkways going in there. Wait a second. Did I actually just... These should be jutting out one more block. Did I do that on the other side? Alright, so we got one wall, second wall. Okay, so I did these ones correctly. When I was building off of the little example piece of wall, I see what I did wrong there. Okay, you know, I can still work with this. Yeah, like so. Just keep those inner wall bits there. And that's going to be... We're just gonna pop one there. And pop one there. I am going to need more because these corner bits, rather than being like so, they're probably going to turn into little squared sections. Because these inner corners, in theory, I can just kind of get rid of. Or at the very least, chisel down into diagonal walkways. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Whew. Ah, genius. Okay, so let's just have the occasional bit of conglomerate dry stone. realizing, these sections in here, I've realized they just butt right up to the ground inside the courtyard. So they're going to get covered up with, well, the walls that are visible out here. So we could just fill these with literally anything. Just going to pop some of this low fertility soil in there. And that's also going to stop this from being a falling hazard. I'll start throwing in some of the packed soil as well, and we can always adjust that as needed as we go. So any of these corner bits, if I need to add one, I can just pop out a block and replace it with another piece of brick. Super easy, super quick, and at least right now, we can walk safely without any risk of falling down to our doom. Or a hungry pack of wolves are waiting to nibble our giblets. That's one more section of wall there. I have a few more. This is literally just a repeating pattern at the moment. The towers are going to be a little more interesting. Okay. Look at that nothing view out in the dark of the night. Let's come back when the sun's up. Two servings of red meat stew with boiled bearded tooth. I mean, it doesn't sound appealing, bearded tooth. Sounds like somebody needs to brush their teeth. And it's February 9th. Which means the trades should have refreshed up north at the agricultural trader. Let's see if he's got some fat. Open up our little travel trunk here. Pick up our rafting ore. I should probably put these back down in the basement. Haha. Don't want to carry an onion and a carrot with me. And of course, since we're heading out to buy things, we can't forget our rusty gears, which we've only got 21, so let's hope that there's good prices. In conjunction with good prices, I should probably take a look at what agricultural traders will purchase, because we might be able to make a little bit of pocket change on the way. Or not on the way, but at the same time when we're talking to them, trying to buy things, you know, give me some lard, I'll give you things that you like. Yeah. Throw money at the problem. Be like, here. Take them. I don't want them. Let me purchase. Okay, I just looked it up, and apparently they buy soybeans and halite. Even though we've got a huge store of halite over in the mining area, I don't think I'll be selling that, but these soybeans? Do I have any others? I don't think so. Excellent. Nearly 2 stacks of soybeans. Might be able to make a little bit of extra cash. It's pretty well just going to be a boat ride straight there, so I don't really think we're going to need much else. Definitely won't need a chest on our back, because we've got a fairly clear inventory. Now perhaps we'll wait for the sun to rise, just to see a little bit better the work that we did yonder on the castle. And with the sun barely about to crest over the horizon of this nice wintry morning, let's take one little quick glimpse at what we've managed to get done so far on the castle walls. Not a bad segment, if I do say so myself. We've got a little bit of height going on there, starting to get our way there. That's what, 2 blocks tall? So 5 more layers, and then everything to the corner will be done. So that's actually a fairly sizable chunk just from that quick little quarrying expedition. Yeah, I haven't quite got those walls in place yet, but that's okay. So the shape of the first courtyard is really starting to come together, at least when you look in this corner. When you look over here, it's still effectively wire frames. Dirt frames. But it's going to start coming together pretty quickly, I think, because now that everything is marked out, really not actually all that long. It's just going to be a good few iron ingots per trip, just to be able to use enough rubble hammers to break everything down. Alright, so let's avoid whatever wolves are chasing us right now through these woods. Get on over to the coastline. Where am I? There we go. Gotta get through those trees. And let's sail straight on north to our agriculture trader. This is the part where I hold W for the next 10 minutes. If these long sailing voyages become any form of a regular occurrence, I really can't wait for those boats. 1.20 is going to be a massively beneficial update. At least when it comes to us eventually building the docks. And when 1.20 comes out, fire clay is no longer going to generate on the surface. It's going to be under anthracite or black coal deposits. So sedimentary areas like the one we're in right now are going to be far more valuable than they already were. Right now, borax is kind of the big bottleneck where you need sedimentary for it to spawn. But it seems that if you cook flint, which right now in the current first release candidate, you can only do that in a bloomery, but that's a bug. You can cook it in a campfire, or at least you're supposed to be able to. So there's a crafting recipe with cooking flint and clay and putting that all together to get fire clay, so it'll be a different experience once we hit 1.20. So when the spring comes and the snow thaws, we might just have to go on a big old run for some fire clay so we can stock up, because we're going to need a whole lot of it for refractory bricks and more bloomeries so we can make more iron and then turn that iron into steel. Now, I've gotten a couple questions of what my plans are when 1.20 actually comes out and whether we're going to update the world or stick to 1.19. And I think because I've kept mostly within just, couple thousand blocks or so, roughly, I think we will, with backing up the world first, of course, do an update. Maybe not right away, but I'm going to see if we can get this entire world to stay as it is while we update. Worst case, we might have to use commands to generate in any of the new dungeon structures they've been talking about. Ooh, I've hit landfall. Because when 1.18, I believe it was, came out, and the Resonance Archive, which we haven't done yet in this series. We will do that once we've repaired that blackguard armor that we've got. But when that came out, for any worlds from 1.17 being updated, you could just use a console command and it would spawn in the entire dungeon. And so that is hopefully something we won't have to do for the new dungeons, but very likely will be. And I'm totally okay with that. Any of the newer generated chunks that we explore afterward... Ooh, fire clay. We should actually mark this. Speaking of fire clay. But any newer spawn chunks will have the brand new 1.20 generation, which really is kind of just changing a little bit of the distribution. And, the spawn mechanics for fire clay and a couple other things. Red clay, I believe I've heard, is being added as well, which is going to be great. Why not brown clay, though? I don't know. I would hope that brown clay would be included, because I really like brown clay, and you have refreshed your trades. You have cabbage seeds, though. I will absolutely buy your cabbage seeds. Thank you. We've already got redwood, and with our seed mod, we're going to have plenty. You are buying... How many are you willing to buy? 4. Very, very low demand, and very low price, but... Not gonna give... No, it's not gonna give me anything. Well, at least I made a couple gears back. 4 cabbage seeds, though, kind of makes the trip a little worth it. Oh, what do we have here? Ooh. A little bit of flax. Carrots. Do I care about the carrots? No, we have quite enough. Carrots, turnips, parsnips. We're good on those. This fire clay. I don't have a shovel on me. Is there any flint about?
Let's make ourselves a little flint shovel here and collect a little bit of this fire clay just while we're here. Maybe a second shovel just for good measure. Oh, here they come. The boys in the bright white sports car, waving their arms in the air. Who do they think they are? Can I get them to despawn long enough just to finish off this shovel? Hello, lads. Gentlemen, please. But a moment more. Alright. Thank you. Thank you for giving me that moment more. Alright, let's get ready to get back on the water. Okay, well, I'm wet now. Excellent. Homeward bound with cabbage seeds and fire clay we go. See you in 17 years when we reach land. You're a Canadian, they said. Be a log driver, they said. I don't think this is what they meant, but I am driving a bunch of logs. Home once more. Pop some of these things away. Total of 6 cabbage seeds we've got now, which is going to be quite handy. Hopefully we'll get more as we get more cabbages. And these are probably what I'll focus on if I do ever find some high fertility soil and I make terra preta. I might make it for a small little cabbage patch. Do like cabbages. Maybe we'll make some sauerkraut or something at some point. Put it on a hot dog or something. You like sauerkraut? Sound off in the comment section below. So, everything's put away. We're back from our trip. We have a nice little pile of fire clay. And a couple more cabbage seeds to boot, so that's always a nice bonus. But since the trader didn't have any fat, we don't have what we need to start making more axles to get our elf hammer set up all up and running. That, and we're still kind of waiting on spring so we can grow more flax for the windmill sails. So I think the next item on the docket is probably going to be trying to find a little bit of bauxite. I know there's some just a little ways to the north that we technically kind of sailed past twice going on that little trip. Maybe we'll pay that island a little visit. Maybe go on a little bit of a journey looking for maybe another source of bauxite. Let's take a look. Red sky in the morn, sailors be warned. Is that what we have ahead of us today? I'm only seeing it on the underside of that little bit of land. Yeah, that's gonna be a little tricky to get to, I think. But luckily, we've got a little bit of bauxite down below. Aha. Let's dig a little into this rock and see if it's just a small sliver of bauxite. Hopefully more. Ah. There's more hidden down below. And while I didn't bring any blocks, or at least, no more than 3, and I'm kind of trapped down under here, that's fine. So once we're done down here, I'll just dig my way back out into the water and swim on up. We're close enough to home. I'm not too worried about freezing out here. Now, these should be not safe. Alright, well. You know, some of it might have been peridotite, but at least I'd call that I call that a worthwhile investment right there. So I'm working within a little bit of a finite confined space, but this is still far more bauxite than I ever expected to find so quickly. I know your ears do not deceive you. I think my voice is getting differently hoarse. Nay, it's not painfully raspy or anything like that. It's just weird, just losing it. It's going on a vacation, and you know what? That's fine. I think that's okay. A little bit of tea with some honey, and everything's gonna be okay eventually. I'm sure in a matter of days it'll be back. Probably just went to Cancun or something. A dozen stacks, relieved stone by accident, and whatever I've got in this large slab, which is 46 more blocks worth of rocks I can crush up. I'd call that a successful bauxite run. Back up to the surface world. Well, let's get this bauxite back home, and then maybe see if we can find ourselves a little bit of olivine. Because why start with Tier 1 refractory bricks when we can jump straight into Tier 2? There we go. Let's start filling up our bauxite chest, finally. And for this one... yeah. That was definitely the sound of me picking up rocks. Nothing else. Okay, rocks are all away. Let's go see if we can find a little bit of olivine. Now, a good chunk of the mountain range over in the foggy distance there is peridotite. All along in our quarrying area there, we've got mostly conglomerate in kind of where we're actually quarrying. But further east we go, along that mountainside and kind of where our halite is, a lot of that starts to turn into peridotite. That's where we got the rocks that we relieved for our quern in the kitchen. But as far as I've seen on my map, I didn't mark whether or not there was any olivine. Although, in my defense, I haven't really cared about olivine until this very moment. It's only really good for refractory bricks, but from what I hear, the 1.20 updates, refractory bricks might become a little more important. I have to make those beehive kilns out of them. Alright everybody, keep your eyes peeled for olivine. No, that's just cracked rock. Olivine? Your quartz. It's pretty neat. Is there any silver or gold in you? Lignite? Ligma? I should probably be careful, because the hole I fell down and died is somewhere close by. Can't remember exactly where, but it's close. Evening might not have been the best time to come here, because I'm going to lose visibility on everything pretty quick here. What is that? Is that just malachite? I think that's just malachite. Well, I'm just going to make my way around here, see if there's any olivine anywhere around the perimeter of the mountain or in any of these little tunnels. And when the sun comes up, I'll make my way back around the mountain to look up at the places that are currently shrouded in darkness. But yeah, I'm gonna meander a while and I'll see you if I find something or if I give up. Guess you'll find out quicker than I will. Yeah. Ah. Very large amounts of olivine, you say? There'd be... yeah, I had a feeling if I just kept poking around, I'd be able to find olivine pretty quickly. Because apparently in any area that has peridotite as the igneous rock, there's a 50% chance per chunk of having an olivine vein. And of course, once I find it, it goes from calm to medium. Am I gonna have to get out of here by fighting for my life? Oh, already, huh? Alright. But I can take you. There's just one of you. You're not scaring me off this land that easy, boy. I'm here for cocktail hour and I need my olives. You can't hurt me. I don't have a central nervous system. Should I start bringing weapons with me? Absolutely. Will I? Probably not. Got a stacking a bit from all that, so that's not too bad. Let's just dig ourselves a hole back up. Let's make our way back home and, well, see what all we're gonna need for a pulverizer to get this stuff all crushed up. Safety once more. Alright, so our olivine. In total, we have just over a stack and a half. Not too bad. Put some of these other rocks away. There's that. Ah. You know what? We don't need this. So, with the combination of fire clay, bauxite, and olivine, and of course quartz, these are the ingredients chosen to create the perfect unfired refractory brick tier 2. So crushed quartz, crushed bauxite, and crushed olivine, we're just going to need to make a pulverizer. And there's 3 main components to that. So the pulverizer pounder, which is also going to need a couple of pounder heads. This is pretty easy. 3 logs, so 6 in total, because I believe we need 2 of these. And then 2 caps, which we'll probably just make out of iron. Toggle. Iron plate. More iron. We've got some ingots. We can do this. And an axle. We've got a little bit of fat. We can make a couple axles. Be okay. And then the frame itself. Bunch of wood. Which, think we might have a little bit of wood still. Even after that charcoal pit. But if not, we can always get more. And then 1 sort of relieved igneous rock of some kind. Which we can get those easily, if we don't already have one sitting somewhere in a chest here. What about the peridotite chest? We got 9. We're plenty filled of resources. We're good. So, gonna need the saw for that. Probably gonna need a new saw for that, honestly. We want our chisel, which that's getting down low a little bit. But 322, we're probably still good on that. And what's that? That's a spare hammer. Bring that spare hammer with us, actually, just in case. And let's mosey on over and get ourselves a little inventory of what wood we've got left. Wood. Walnut is empty. Pine is empty. Both of the oak crates are empty, and of course the maple is still empty. Am I out of logs? Entirely? I am out of logs entirely. Do I have an axe? I go through all my... I have a stone axe. I suppose there be some smithing to be done. And the wind dies down the second I get it on there. Ah. Such is the way of life. Okay. Now, while it's still calm out, let's get up top to where our windmill structure is and, make a little pulverizer. Hopefully before my voice gives out. And hopefully not run into that bear that was around. Speak of the devil. There's something wrong with that bear. It kind of feels cruel and unusual. You good, buddy? Like, you didn't even try to move or nothing. Okay. Guess he was just really contemplating that fern. Oh. Nothing quite like getting taken out while you're getting takeout. And that's all assembled. Now I just need to bring the actual sails for the windmills up top. Now its position up top is exceedingly temporary. Once we've got enough fat to make the axles to bring the line down to where the workshop's actually going to be, it's not going to be up there. And I didn't want to put the whole smithing station up there yet, just because that's too much time to be spending up there in an unlit cavern. Get away from the doors. Now let's see this thing come to life. 3, a 4, a 5. Oh, why is it not spinning? I'm a little confused as to why this isn't spinning. I have a thought, and I don't like it. Aha! There we go. So I did need to have a singular opening to the outside, so it's too deep in a cave for it to have ever detected. But a single hole, there's the airflow that we need. I wonder if I could put something in there. So far, so good. Now that'll stop things from trying to climb down. Speaking of climbing down, let's see if I can do this safely. Ah. Beautiful. Majestic. And lo and behold, we have successfully made a pounder. And we've hooked our windmill up. So it's actually functioning. Just took carving a little hole in the ceiling. So with the pulverizer completed, we can start getting on to turning things into powder. Namely the bauxite, olivine, and quartz. And get making some refractory bricks so we can get our steel furnaces going pretty quick. I was, you know, I had talked myself into just doing all the quarrying and everything with the tin bronze plugs that we've got, but when I was reading some of the changes for 1.20 and learned that fire clay is going to be changing, I just got the urge, you know? Sometimes you just gotta go where the wind takes you. So I think that'll about do it for this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it despite my raspy voice. And a special shout out to all of our channel members. You're all the greatest. Thank you so much for your support. And just as a little mini announcement here, I know a lot of you have seen the community post, but we're encroaching on 10K pretty quickly. And I put out a poll to see what we should do for the 10K special, and it seems like a short dramatic film has won. So there's been some set design and costuming ideas and a whole screenplay. I wrote a screenplay. Well, I adapted one of the vintage story short stories into a screenplay. So it's a little bit of a twist. Not too much. It stays pretty mostly faithful to the source material, but you'll see. And I'll reveal more little bits and pieces of that as it develops. Thank you all once again, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Which side of this is the front? Oh, I've got this backwards.